We are not changing our name 100%. Raylene and I were in New York at the Google Summit. We started talking about the future and how AI was going to disrupt everything moving forward. And I recognized that we were a bit behind with our strategy. What I realized was the rest of the world had been changing for a couple of years, and perhaps we were already a little bit behind. And that scared the out of me. I think that we had become, I hate to say this, complacent. The agency was going well. We had lots of clients. We had good processes. We had good systems. We were good at it. And to then go and say, oh, we have to relearn how to execute on a project with a brand new process, that was a scary endeavor. So why did we decide not to do the rebrand in-house? Why did we go to an outside agency when we're an agency?
You have to have that kind of professional distance from yourself. We had been so involved in building the Success brand and building the Drive brand, but I think after a while you start to only look at yourself in the way that you see yourself. Darren and I had the pleasure of working with James and Chris at Frank before, and we knew that Chris and Chris would get along quite well after we introduced them, and they had
like a house on fire.
One aggressive night of drinking, the partnership was born.
It happens.
And then after we brought them in, they very smartly said, as you should in any strategy project, the first thing we need to do is talk to your customers.
A lot of it started with interviews. So going out, talking to internal stakeholders, partners, clients, really getting a sense of who they thought we were, so that we can try to predict where we're going to go in the future. So people liked that we were specialists under one roof.
Advertising agencies that used to have would be these like big traditional agencies that would do creative, they would do like all the actual production work, they would do all the media buying, and then technology started to happen, which totally changed everything. This traditional advertising company had to start to break up different pieces of its service offering. So like you would hire a social media company, you would hire a paid advertising company, you would hire a web design company, because all of these different companies had to learn different types of skill sets so quickly because of the rapid onset of technology. All of these different agencies that were executing on different pieces, then there was one person at the client side who was just spending all of their time managing different agencies. There's all of these different project managers from different agencies, everybody's fighting over their smaller piece of the pie, trying to divvy this up, divvy up budgets, and the reality is that all of these different agencies were trying to execute on a strategy that was put in place by someone who had none of the technical expertise.
For us, starting that conversation in the strategy component, in the creative component, and then that filters out to all the different media and campaigns that you're using is a much more effective and efficient way to run your campaigns versus just creating this campaign that's creative in this little bubble and then telling all the agencies involved exactly what they have to do, and that doesn't really provide the most effective campaign for a client.
So all of these different conflicting forces were happening. Everyone was coming in trying to go 100 miles an hour and just make decisions.
So you're going over this digital landscape and it's so confusing and oh God, what do I pick?
It's time to take a step back and take a deep breath.
We heard so much from you guys talking about your relationship with clients where you brought a sense like clarity and sort of calmness to what is a really frenetic, ever-changing sort of industry.
But that was one of the ideas that I think became a constant, was this idea of we bring calm to the noise.
We're very aware of our strengths, but I didn't feel that our previous brand name really reflected that. And Major Tom positions us in a much stronger way, and I think it's more reflective of who we are.
There was like consensus. I think it was the number one choice for all of us, or it was top two choice for all of us, and it took 8 or 9 months, but when it actually came down to picking the name, it like jumped off the page at us.
I was like, I really like Major Tom. You were like, me too. That was definitely the one I wanted. And John was like, oh yeah, I like this other one, but Major Tom's definitely the best, right?
And broadly, it's not so much necessarily about moving towards being more integrated, but having more of an overall kind of a holistic point of view or vision as to how marketing should be done. And specialists don't tend to concern themselves with that so much. They just tend to think about deliverables. The biggest agencies probably spend all their time talking about it and doing very little of the actual doing. Somewhere in the middle is where we wanted to end up, and that's basically what's happened.
Coming out with a new brand and also the organization that takes The amount of stuff that we have to prepare for has forced us to align even more as an agency by default. So it's end-to-end, albeit we love the brand, we love the name, and everybody's bought into it. The process itself has been a good discipline for us to move forward as an agency and mature a little bit.
We wanted to sort of, showcase off to clients that, part of our role is to look at things from a different perspective, right? To sort of bring new insight into things. And we sort of achieved that on the site by essentially creating these horizon lines ourselves. When you land, so much choice, so much possibility, where do I go? We want to bring that down into a single line. For the longest time, our clients have been looking at the problems that they face from one perspective. And what we're here to do is come in and look at things from a completely new perspective. You see that on the About page of the website that starts off as the square Major Tom logo. As you scroll past it, it becomes a cube. And that cube has 5 other sides that you didn't see before. How the hell do I deal with all this stuff? And sort of the action, I suppose, that came to mind was just a deep breath, was just a with all of our clients too. We want to take that deep breath initially, and we want to take that step back, and we want to make sure that we're seeing all the pieces before we start building the puzzle out.
To Major Tom.
To Major Tom!